The 2025 college football season is only a month away for Alabama football, so it's time to make some wild hot takes on what you can expect from the Tide in 2025. Stick around, let's talk about it. This is going to get hot. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be, whenever you may be watching this. Welcome to Way Offsides this way with 4 A's, not 3, not 5. 3's not enough, 5's too many, 4, just like in the word Alabama. The season, you can feel it. It's 105 degrees outside, but fall's on the way. And with fall comes SEC football. And folks, we're close. If you're an NFL preseason fan, hey, you have this is your last week without football until the end of the year. How about that? How about them apples? Big, juicy, delicious apples. Only 30 days removed, around 30 days removed from the college football season. We are well on our way. SEC Media Days is over, and it is time in true Crimson fashion to make egregious hot takes for Alabama football in 2025, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about what I think Alabama can do this year that nobody else is saying. Maybe a couple of people are saying. But before we get there, you guys know the drill. I need you to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, give me your hot takes for Alabama football in 2025. I've got a really, really crazy one, so make sure you stick around for the end of this video. And I'll say this, like these aren't things that I just randomly thought of. These are things that I think Alabama could legitimately do this year. This isn't just me talking. And I'll explain a little bit about each one. I was watching KB Kangaroo Black yesterday. I saw a little snippet from one of his videos. I don't know if you guys follow him or subscribe to him. Make sure you go over and do that too. Really good content. But he did something very similar about some of his hot takes, and a couple of mine are the same. A couple of them are different. We're going to talk about each and every one of them. The expectations in 2025 are exceedingly high, ridiculously high, maybe too high, but we'll see. We all understand what this squad is, what it could potentially be with the coaching staff that they now have. And folks are really, really excited about Alabama in 2025. So I'm going to start right off with my first hot take. I got 5 of these bad boys locked and loaded and ready to go. Is that Alabama will finish the season with the number 1 overall defense in 2025. I know what you're thinking, Cotton. That's not that big of a hot take. Well, it could be. It could be because I'm not just talking about in passing yards. I'm not just talking about rushing defense. I'm talking about number 1 overall. I'm talking about finishing in takeaways. I'm talking finishing in yards allowed, defensive points. I think Alabama's defense could be a little bit of a throwback to what we were used to under Nick Saban. Completely different style. Those hybrid positions that Kane Wilmick likes. But I just, the talent level is 100% there all over the defense, not just in the secondary. The secondary gets the most talk, but I think Bama's linebackers are good. They're young. I think that their pass rush is going to be better than it was last season. I think if they can stop the middle shovel pass, look out. So that's it. That's the first one. Alabama's defense will finish the season number 1 overall in college football in 2025. Now, let's go to the second one. The second one, this is one that KB said. I think Alabama will have 2,000-yard receivers on the season. 2, not 1. I know everybody's – when I say a 1,000-yard receiver, your mind immediately goes to Ryan Williams, but I think Jeremy Bernard or Isaiah Horton will also finish over the century mark. I do. I do. I think Ty Simpson is going to be able to get this thing out. I think he's going to be able to read coverages. I think he's going to be able to know where to go when situations break down, unlike what we had last year. I really do think that with that step up, understanding the route trees, understanding, progressions, all of this stuff, I think that the wide receivers are set up to show out big time in 2025. That one probably doesn't shock a lot of people. But I do think Alabama will have 2,000-yard receivers going into 2025. I also think Alabama will have 3 future first-round wide receivers on this team in Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard, and obviously Hollywood Ryan Williams. Yeah. So that's two. We're flying through these things. So again, tell me yours in the comments. They may be mine. Tell me if you agree with mine, if you disagree with mine. I want to hear what you think, what your expectation is for Bama in 2025. Coming off of 2 wide receivers, this one may shock some folks. I think that Alabama will have a 1,000-yard rusher in 2025. I know a lot of you aren't sold on Jim Miller for whatever reason. I think it was very obvious last year that a lot of the problems with Alabama's offense, although we could blame the running game, we could blame the running back, or the quarterback, we could blame Nick Sheridan. A lot of the problems started with continuity on the offensive line. In the SEC, you got to be stout in the trenches if you want to win. Alabama will be stout this year, even replacing guys like Ty Booker. I think that they'll be stout enough to make some noise on the ground, and I think it starts in Tallahassee. If you followed the channel, I've said it several videos. I think Alabama is going to run heavy in that game in Tallahassee and try to take over in the trenches, put their offensive line on display. I think that'll show out. Now, this offense, this is the one that people will say, this offense isn't catered to that. I disagree. Quietly, Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer had a 1,000-yard rusher at Washington. They can do it in the SEC. Now, imagine Alabama has 2,000-yard wide receivers that defenses have to worry about. Then you have to worry about a 1,000-yard rusher. Now, this was the one that may not be as realistic just because there's so much wealth in Alabama's running back room. They may not be able to get the carries to get to 1,000 yards. But I think in general, Alabama's running back room their running game in 2025 is going to be much improved. That's really the overall thesis of what I'm saying. But could they finish with a 1,000-yard rusher? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Jim Miller's good enough to do it. I think there's a couple other guys back there who are good enough to do it. Richard Young being one of them. So there's 3 very hot takes. It's getting warm in here. Very warm. And we got 2 more to go. This next one is maybe won't excuse me, rewind. This next one maybe won't surprise some people, but I think Alabama will have 2 Heisman Trophy finalists in 2025. One of them is already a dark horse, one of them's already on the board. Finalist. Now here, I think when we get close to, I'm not talking, maybe finalist isn't the right word. I'm not talking about who's going to be in New York, but I think 2 people that will be in contention as the season goes on. It's really hard for a wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy. It's been done. Obviously, Devontae Smith did it at Alabama, but the guy, that was a unheard of type of year. But Ryan Williams, of course, is one of the best in the business. Obviously, you've got Jeremiah Smith up there at Ohio State. But I think Ty Simpson could find his way into that talk. He's already been listed by some people as a kind of a dark horse, which I don't necessarily think is fair right now. We want to see him play, but I think Simpson potentially has the tools, the command, the seniority, the maturity to do the right thing at the quarterback position. We all heard his comments this past week. He's going to do whatever it takes to win and be successful at Alabama. I believe him. And therefore, I think him, Ryan Williams, potentially even somebody else could find themselves catching votes on that ballot in New York. Who do you think, outside of Ryan Williams, who do you think Alabama's best shot for a Heisman is? Leave a comment. Let me know. Say something. Talk to me. Just kidding. Finally, this is the big one. Now, I know this is contradictory to some stuff I've said on the road, and these are hot takes, okay? I do think that if Alabama's going to drop a game at some point on the road, it's going to be at South Carolina. But one hot take / prediction is that Alabama will not lose on the road in 2025. Now, that may not sound like I'm saying much, but Bama has to go to Athens. I think it's week 4 to play Georgia. They have to go to South Carolina to play a trending South Carolina Gamecock team. They go to Missouri. They're also going to go to the Plains to play Auburn. We all know how that place goes. We all know what happens in that weird, hellish landscape down there in West Georgia / East Alabama. So I do believe that Auburn loses to the Tide in the Iron Bowl. I believe that Bama squeaks one out against the Dogs in their place. I think that they squeak one out against South Carolina too. I think South Carolina is going to be good enough to give Alabama some problems, but I think offensively, Bama is going to take that next step up the ladder that we thought they were going to be in 2024, and it's going to be very hard to shut that down. So there you have it. 5 hot takes. It's sizzling outside. It's sizzling in here. It's 5 hot takes from Cotton. Bama will finish with 2,000-yard receivers, a 1,000-yard rusher. They will not lose on the road. 2 Heisman Trophy finalists, and they will finish with the number 1 overall defense. Tell me what you think. Tell me, talk to me, be loud about it. And while you're doing that, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything, and please share, retweet, whatever you want to do. Helps out the channel tremendously. There is a lot of content coming in the next couple of weeks as we get closer to the season, as we round out this 2026 recruiting class. Bama just had that big flip from Bear Fretwell, the Georgia Tech commit. A lot of stuff going on. I don't think he's going to be the last one. So if you want it all in one place, Way All Sides is where you need to be. Thanks for sticking around with me. You guys are the best, as always. Say your prayers. Read your Bibles. Get in those Bibles, okay? Say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.